All right, hey guys, welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Curtis, and if you're anything like me, you really enjoy having your cup of joe or cup of coffee in the morning. I'm a huge coffee lover, and so, I try to only drink it in the morning, but I love it so much that I end up drinking it in the afternoon as well. It's kind of gotten to the point to where, it doesn't really bother my sleep anymore at this point, so it essentially has no effect on me, but I just love the taste so much, so that's why I enjoy drinking it. And I don't know, there's something about, just especially in the fall and winter time, it's kind of cold and the air is very brisk, and just the aromas and smells that you can get from coffee just really help to make me feel energized and ready to tackle the day. I just absolutely love the smell. So whenever it comes to coffee being used in fragrances, I'm immediately drawn to those fragrances. So today I wanted to share with you 4 fragrances that feature the note of coffee. So if you're curious to hear my thoughts and opinions on these fragrances, then let's go. All right, first up from the house of Vietnam, we have Vietnamese Coffee. Man, so this one is just kind of a creamy, ambery, slightly sweet take on Vietnamese coffee. If you've ever had Vietnamese coffee, you know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't say that it's like an exact copy of how it really tastes, but it definitely puts your mind in kind of that vibe. I'm a huge lover of Vietnamese coffee. About, I would say, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I went to Vietnam on a trip, enjoyed coffee every single day. They do coffee correct. I'm telling you, lovely stuff there. But yeah, this is such a gorgeous wear. Now, this pushes into that kind of gourmand territory. So I would say of all the fragrances that I'm going to show you today, this one kind of leans the most sweet, and it pushes into that, goes down that path of being gourmand. But the ambery notes in here are absolutely gorgeous, and combined with the coffee that you get in here, man, it's lovely. So, I mean, if you're someone who likes to drink sweeter type of coffees like lattes or mochas or something like that, you might really appreciate a fragrance like this. I do love this fragrance, but I wouldn't say that I reach for it all that often. But when we're in the kind of the deep weather of winter is when I'll pull this one out. This is almost kind of leaning like a holiday fragrance for me in a way. It's just very cozy, and it kind of brings me those types of vibes. So that's when I like to wear this fragrance. But man, it is a gorgeous wear, and it's definitely underrated in my opinion. I think the house of Vietnam in general, if you're not familiar with the house, they are a house from Vietnam, and they have a few fragrances in the line that I actually really enjoy. They have one called Japanese Whiskey, which is kind of paying tribute to Japanese whiskey, and I got to smell that one at Isetan at Salon de Parfume recently. And man, yeah, absolutely love it. It has a very prominent barley note, and it's quite different from Bada Onda. They might share a few similarities, but I feel like Japanese whiskey by Vietnam is a bit more refined. And again, man, yeah, definitely one that I would love to score a sample of to spend more time with. But yeah, this is a house that's definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure how easy they are to come by in terms of, where you are located in the world. But yeah, I think this is a house that has a lot of lovely fragrances, and this is one of them, and it's definitely one to check out. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Vietnamese Coffee by Vietnam. Next up from the house of Maksim Perfume, we have Café Mystique. Man, talk about an intriguing olfactive experience. Deep, rich, warm, resinous, ambery, slightly floral. You have a bit of oud in here. I mean, this is a chock full of notes, and it gives you the ultimate experience. This is such a gorgeous, if you're gonna call it coffee, ambery, floral type of fragrance. But I think there are 2 types of coffee used in here. And if you're not familiar with the house of Maksim Perfume, they're a house out of Thailand. I do talk about this brand quite a lot on the channel because I'm a huge fan. I think in terms of, fragrance discoveries within the past year, 2 years, this is at the top of my list in terms of brand discoveries. I just like what Maksim Perfume is doing. Just really fragrances that inspire, take you on a journey. If you're looking to really elevate your fragrance game, and if you're at a point to where you're looking for the ultimate olfactive experience, fragrances that can actually take you somewhere, fragrances that are not linear, check out Maksim perfumes. Huge fan of theirs, and that's why I talk about them so much on the channel. But Cafe Mystique is a lovely one for me. What this fragrance does is, I referenced a bit about my trip to Vietnam about 10 years ago, but this one definitely puts me in somewhere in Southeast Asia. You're outside, you're kind of sitting on one of those kind of plastic crates. There's a table thrown out on the street, and you're just sitting there in the morning, just enjoying those vibes of the kind of the hustle and bustle of the atmosphere around you. You're getting that kind of intense coffee-like smell. And also, like I said, there's a bit of oud in here. So it's bringing like a slight animalic tinge to this, but not in an off-putting way at all. It's just adding a lot of depth, character, and richness to this. This is just one example of, their whole line of fragrances that is just stunning in my opinion. But yeah, Cafe Mystique. And in terms of the performance, like this is a 1 or 2 sprayer for me because, I don't know, I'm a huge believer in less is more. And this one does leave quite an impactful sillage. And again, it's not like a scent profile that everybody's going to be drawn to. I mean, this can be quite polarizing, but I love the smell of this one. And so that's why for me, I feel like with fragrances like this, less is more. And so you will have a better impact on the others around you if you kind of apply in moderation. Those are just my thoughts. And obviously my thoughts might be a little bit influenced because I do live here in Japan. But yeah, this is a stunning one and definitely one to check out. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Cafe Mystique by Maksim Perfume. Next up, going to the house of Mayo Fusciuni, we have Little Song. Man, what can I say about this one? This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance for me. You do get a prominent heavy note of coffee in here, and there's almost like a slight bit of dirtiness. So I know I keep referencing Vietnam, but if you know anything about their coffee, sometimes they feed their coffee beans to this certain animal. I can't remember what kind of animal it is, but they feed the coffee beans to the animal eats it and then basically poops it out. And then they use those beans in coffee. It gives the bean a certain aroma, a certain taste, vibe. And you can almost kind of pick up on a very slight, subtle funk in here. So it almost kind of makes me think about that type of coffee bean. But again, for me, this fragrance is not challenging or off-putting at all. It is beautiful. And like I said, prominent coffee, vetiver, rose, and tobacco. That's what you get in here. But it is all just extremely well executed. And again, one of those fragrances that will take you on a journey. This is a fragrance about storytelling. And that's one thing I really enjoy about Mayo Fusciuni. When you purchase these fragrances, it comes with a storyline. So, you might be able to relate, or you might be able to think of your own story. It might bring back memories of, a time in your life. But yeah, for me, I could really relate to Mayo's story with this one. But yeah, again, this is one of those houses that is at the top for me. Again, if you want to be intrigued, taken on a journey, these fragrances are non-linear. They will take you places. And yeah, this is a beautiful one and definitely one to check out. So if you can, get yourself a sample of Little Song by Mayo Fusciuni. All right, guys, and finally, I have kind of a special surprise. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing of a fragrance here. This is from the House of Strangers Perfumerie. So this is called SM Cafe. And so yeah, there was a pop-up store in Tokyo at Hankyu, and they had Strangers Perfumerie. And so this is a house that I've been intrigued by, and just very interested in for a very long time. And I'm a huge fan of the perfumer Prin Lormos. So I really wanted to get my nose and dive into this brand a bit. And I had smelled quite a few from the brand. And they didn't have the entire collection there at this pop-up event, but they had about like maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 fragrances from the line. And I was drawn to a few of them, but I ended up purchasing SM Cafe. And I did sample it on skin. So I do want to give you some semi first impression reviews of this fragrance. So let me, if I can get the box open here. My goodness, what in the world? Okay, so let me go ahead and open this up, take the sticker off the back. I'm just gonna put that there. So basically this just slides out of the box here. Here's the box kind of like this. Your fragrance will be sitting in just like that. I'm gonna take this one out. Let's just throw the box here. So yeah, you can see SM Cafe by Strangers Perfumerie. And yeah, I'm going to put this one here on my left hand and give you my thoughts here. So again, I did try this one on skin. But you know, I ended up washing my hands. I was going back on the train, so I didn't want the smell to be bothering people on the train around me. So, you know, while I have tried this on skin, this is kind of a semi first impression review again, from skin. So yeah, let me put this on here. So it was kind of primed already, which is interesting. Okay, so this one is quite potent. This is an eau de parfum concentration. I don't need to put it back in the box. But you are getting a very, very prominent note of coffee in the beginning here. It's slightly dusty. There's a subtle, very subtle powderiness to this fragrance. And there's something kind of like old, kind of library-like about this. While at the same time, there's something almost kind of new age about it. So it's like old and new kind of combined, if that makes any sense. But what I really love about this fragrance is, and this is one thing that I noticed yesterday after this one had kind of dried down on my hand a little bit, the transformation that this fragrance goes through. So if you noticed the name SM Cafe, like S&M, okay, so what the transition that this fragrance goes through is you're getting that prominent kind of dusty old coffee, rich, deep coffee note. This is black coffee, very deep, rich. And then this fragrance goes through this transition phase where these leathery, kind of in an underlying note of cherry start to push forward. And so it's like if you go to a coffee shop and, okay, I'm trying to give you like a mental description here, but it's like if you're going to a coffee shop and the baristas are basically naked and they are wearing kind of leather aprons and that's all they have on. So it's kind of like giving you that kind of S&M vibe with coffee. It's kind of the image that I get. And this fragrance kind of transitions. You get that leather and kind of like subtly fruity cherry note that start to push forward. But this fragrance kind of pushes in the line of like those kind of old school kind of leather fragrances that you might have experienced in the 80s or kind of 90s. But man, what a beautiful fragrance this is. I love this one. There's almost like a slight sexiness to it as well. So it has a masculine vibe for sure. However, I say this fragrance is unisex, but pushing slightly masculine because of the way that this one transitions into those kind of leathery notes. Yeah, like I'm already starting to pick up on the leather. It's starting to push forward a bit now. Man, I really like this fragrance. Just that, and that coffee note is starting to, so when you first spray it, the coffee note is here and the leather note is down here, and it slowly starts to change like this. And so that's what's happening now. That coffee note is coming underneath that leather. Man, this is some good stuff. But yeah, definitely an interesting fragrance. And I think Strangers Parfumerie in general is a great house, and it's definitely one to check out. There were a few others that I was really drawn to, but this one really spoke to me. And that pop-up store is going to be in Tokyo for a few more days, so I'm definitely going to go back. I might actually pick up another bottle from this line, but there are a few other fragrances that I'm also going to pick up. I did pick up another fragrance from a Japanese house, and I got to meet the perfumer there. It was actually her first fragrance that she created, so I was happy to show her some support, and I will be doing a full review and first impression of that fragrance a little bit later on the channel. But yeah, I would like to head back to that pop-up store and see if I can pick up some other fragrances. It was kind of an Asian-inspired pop-up, so fragrances from Asia, so from China, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. Yeah, so yeah, definitely interesting, and it's great to kind of introduce to the channel fragrances from Asia, fragrances that aren't necessarily available worldwide. But yeah, Stranger's Perfumery, man, definitely good first impression of this house and of SM Cafe. Some lovely stuff. It actually might be my fragrance of the day. Yeah, definitely enjoying this one. So if you can, get yourself a sample of SM Cafe by Stranger's Perfumery. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content, and let me know down in the comment section, what are some of your favorite fragrances that contain the note of coffee? I'd love to hear about them. Well, I hope you guys are staying healthy and well, and I'll see you in the next video.